So earlier I discussed about, I think, the assignment which was done related to a card design, correct? Which was related to the dev challenges, if you remember. So yesterday I talked about this challenge. I said this is a website where you can actually practice good set of challenges. I think we started off with the one which in responsive web design, so which was actually a card. So we started doing that card example. Where did it go? So this example, yeah, mostly this one, yeah, minimal block card. Now, what was the comment I was talking about on this? The comment I gave was in terms of naming conventions, correct? It's all about naming conventions. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, so today, I mean, I told you like how to write a better selector here. This I would not call it as naming convention. I would say how to write a better selector. Yeah, which is the best practice is to use more class, less, very less ID selectors, and almost like avoid type selectors, like just writing image. Yeah, so that there is very less impact and there is very less rework you are supposed to do. Avoid using type selector at all. If at all you need, so let's say your HTML is like this, div card. Yeah, I told you. So for all these elements, whatever you are written within this card, you don't have to put classes. You see, did I put class and image? Did I put class and paragraph? No, none of this element I am using a class. Just on the parent element I am using a class. Now using the same parent class, I am scoping it. I'm scoping it. The scope is, so image under the scope card, paragraph under this scope card. Then only you apply so on. So CSS. And this way, whatever CSS you write is not going to affect the rest of the document. Rest of the document, rest of the elements, wherever you find repeating element. Okay. So this is one of the the best practice to writing CSS. With this, let's dive into understanding what are some of the CSS naming conventions. Yeah, specifically class naming conventions. How do we write a class? CSS class name. So for example, in this case, we find one class called card. So in simple words, class names we always write in lowercase. Which case? Lowercase letter. No uppercase letter is used. Okay, this is a first naming convention. Second thing, let us say I would like to have multiple words. What is it? Let us say I want to use multiple words. Then, okay, so then I have to use hyphens. So let's say you have multiple words, then put hyphens, all hyphens separated. Don't use uppercase, which is not a standard, naming convention what people follow. Yeah. So is this clear? And avoid having numbers actually with the class names. So you write a class, putting card one, okay, P1 shorts. So first thing is avoid numbers. What else? Avoid short also. Okay. I mean, we use something like H1B and all that. Okay. So it's also preferred to avoid single letter class names. I think I remember initially some of you were doing it. X, Y, P, Z. Not recommended, correct? It is difficult. And write a class name in such a way that it makes sense like what you are actually talking about, what you are designing. Don't simply put something. For example, if you are creating, this kind of thing, yeah, make it as like, okay, name as card. Don't randomly name something, okay? Name something should be related, okay, appropriate, so that it helps you in reading the code. Next time you are only going to come and read this code. You are going to work on it. You are going to refactor it. You'll have a problem. Today you will remember it is something XYZ, but tomorrow can you remember what is XYZ means? No, correct? Now, how do how do I like find appropriate name? How do I learn the appropriate names
Yes,
for using class name? For that, one of the the best practice is read others code. Yeah, when you are reading code, when you are finding examples, read how they have named it actually. That's how you'll understand. How did I say this is card? Because I've seen other people have written the card. How do I understand others have written model? Yeah, they know that okay, it's a component called model. I've seen people writing BTN for button. Yeah, that's again by looking at what others have written. What are most of the people I have used actually as a standard convention. Okay, so these are some the uh, common conventions that we use while giving a class. And I think I also told you can add multiple classes to an element. You're not restricted to one. Yeah, you're not restricted to one. For example, I think the best use case is like let's say button. No, you can have a generic button and there can be a button which is okay, maybe green. There can be a button which is red. Yeah, for differentiating you add this extra class. Yeah, in that case don't put button 1. Assume you have 3 buttons, you don't say button 1, button 2, button 3. No, it's a button, okay? On top of that it is button green. On top of that button, success. Okay, now these kind of naming convention, where do I read and understand? Yes, in CSS libraries. So do you remember I was telling you on CSS library? What was the name of that library?
it's a Daisy UI.
Yeah, Daisy UI. Remember? You almost forgot that library. They said, you see, they put alert. Yeah, you got alert info, alert success. For example, if I have button, then button, neutral, primary, secondary, button XS, button SM, button MD. Okay, so when you see all these classes, yeah, you will understand, okay, what should I be writing? What is the people are expecting for the class names?